Hey, how we doing? I'm Andy, thanks for coming back and watching. Today we're going to sort of pick up a bit on an old breeding project. Now a few months ago I did I call it the racist Orphnaecus, the Orphnaecus species negros. This is, and I bought a female from So Many Legs, and I bought 3 unsexed sort of juvies from the spider shop last year. Anyway, first juvie, matured out male, and you might remember I paired him with the female a couple of times a couple of months ago. Well, there's been very little from her in regards to, you know, looking like she's going to build a web or whatever, an egg sac, sorry, or whatever. So in that time now, it turns out that another one of those juvies has matured. He's a male and he's matured, like. So I decided that I'd try, and because the first male went on to somebody else, so I thought I'd try and pair this one with this girl, and we'll see whether it might sort of try and force something along over the next month or so, the next couple of months, see if it makes a difference, really. Because I've heard other people say that they've done that. They've paired a female, not of this species, but of sort of tarantulas in general. They've paired a male with a female. Nothing's happened. Months later, and then they've used a totally different male, paired them up again, and sometimes that can sort of force them to produce an egg sac, like. So that's what we're going to try for anyway. So, like I say, not a bad pair, some pretty cool footage. I'm going to shut up. I'll show you what it is, and I'll see you at the end. Cheers. Right, so here we've got our male. You can see he's sort of at that midway point between both enclosures. There's our female just down in her little burrow there. As I said, she has been paired a while ago, but this male matured recently, so I thought, you know, it makes much more sense to at least let them have a try at a pairing before I look at sending him out to someone, like. Now normally this dude is an absolute psychopath, going everywhere around the enclosure when you so much as open the lid or even look at it, but I found this day he was actually really good. I'd tried pairing him twice already and he was just really skittish, so I waited, and then as you can see here, he's a lot better in regards to being able to sort of move him over myself. I'd never been able to do that in some of the other attempts I'd made, like. Unfortunately I didn't film them, or if I did I'd probably deleted the footage. So there we have it, stunning little males. I really do like this species. The whole of the genus is quite sort of underrated in my opinion. So now you can see he's just starting to do his little tap dance and send those signals to her. Unbeknownst to him, he's actually tapping at the wrong burrow entrance, sort of knocking at the back door when he needs to be around the front, so to speak. So yeah, you can see some movement from our female there. She's obviously now aware of his presence. And what I did find interesting here was, as the female sort of come out to meet him, he backed off and moves around, where he was actually in a pretty good position for a parent to start with. If he'd have just sort of gone in to meet her, they'd have probably been in the best place they could have been. This dude decided he wanted to go for a bit of a stroll, so you can see here she's just coming out to meet him. He's up on the edge of the enclosure. So yeah, she's pretty much completely out of her burrow at this point, and he's gone all the way back round. All the while he's constantly sending those signals. Yeah, he pretty much ends up back where he was right at the beginning, and she comes out to meet him, and as you can see here, the pairing begins in earnest. Now I noticed when I paired these before, you see there where she's lifting her abdomen up and he sort of reaches round, grabs it and pushes her back down into him. The other pairings have done, each time that sort of behaviour took place, it was generally as an insertion was taking place, it was like he was holding her in place to aid that insertion and keep her there. You see, every time she lifts her abdomen up, that seems to be where he seems to lean in. You see, it's quite interesting behaviour. I've not witnessed it in any of the pairings that I've done. Just with these, especially that way that he reaches round and sort of holds her back in. Now, I suppose that's one explanation for those sort of longer, stockier front legs. He needs them to keep the female in place come pairing time. Yeah, you can see constant little tippy tappy, always in communication, just letting her know he's there. He seems to have had enough, so rather than risk anything, there was that little jump you'd seen before that. She was in quite a little trance there. She seems to have remained in it to a certain extent there. So we've got him back in his enclosure. We'll save him for another day and we'll maybe try again with this male at another point before we look at getting him sent off to someone. So yeah, as I've said before, this is the racist Orphnaecus, or the Orphnaecus species negros. This is about the third pairing attempt, first one with this male, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some good news soon. Yeah, so I think we had another successful pairing there, and I'm hoping that between the pairing a couple of months ago and this one, we might manage to finally sort of, fingers crossed, get something going with it. Incidentally, you might remember I said at the beginning that I'd bought 3 juvies from the spider shop. Well, incidentally, the third one has now matured male. So there's 2 of them sat here. If anybody is interested in breeding this species and you've got a female, you know, give me a shout, because I've got 2 of them sat here. I'll probably keep hold of one of them for a little while. What I might do is the one that's been paired in this video, I might look at sending that one on, and then if nothing happens in a few months again, I'll try pairing it with the third male. So then we've had 3 different pairings with 3 different males, and try and sort of hope that we get something happen before she molts out, like. But yeah, so that was it, the racist Orphnaecus, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers. Ta-ra.